Hello, welcome to another one of my videos about error coins, and this time we're looking at a 2009 United Kingdom brilliant uncirculated coin collection, or what most of us would simply call a bunk annual set from 2009. The biggest appeal of these sets and why they're so expensive now is because they contain the Kew Gardens 50p, which everyone's probably heard of if you're into coins. So it's no longer the rarest 50p, but it's arguably still the hardest to get hold of. So consequently, it's one of the most expensive 50p's to collect, unless you're lucky enough to find one in your change, but it won't be as good quality as this because it's a brilliant uncirculated coin. So unlike the circulation coins, which are only struck once, these are struck 3 times, so they're better quality as a result, and the background fields are smoother. So in terms of numbers, 210,000 of these went into circulation, but of these bunk ones, fewer were minted. So about 128,000 of these were made, and they were sold availably. They were sold in single bunk sets, but also in a kind. They're also available in a kind of coin cover thing. So a coin inside a packet which had stamps on it for, you know, the day of release, I guess. They're more expensive for some reason. But the majority of these which were minted were actually sold in annual sets like these because people collect them every year. Interestingly though, this 50p here, the so-called definitive 50p, which forms the shield shape when laid out with the other definitives like this, this is actually quite valuable too, simply because none were minted for circulation in 2009. So the only way to get hold of these is to actually take them out of a complete set like this one. And these are less numerous than the Kew Gardens 50p even. So only 108,000 odd of these were made. There's also some other commemorative coins in this pack, but the main reason I was interested in this one is because looking at the back of the set, if we open this up, on one of the 50p's, it's really hard to tell, but it looked like there was either a scratch or a fibre or something inside there. What I'll try and do is splice in some close-ups as usual. So I thought this was indicative of a strike-through error, which is why I fancied buying this set. And in fact, what I think is the strike-through error is on the Kew Gardens 50p, so that makes it even more exciting. But I've been caught out by these before. I've seen what looks like strike-through errors in bunk packs, and then when you tear them open, you discover it's actually just a piece of fibre that was inside the packaging, or even worse, it's some glue from the packaging or oil from production, which gives a kind of optical illusion effect and makes it look like there's a strike through. But when you take the coin out and then wash it in acetone, you can see that it's actually not a strike through at all, and you've dismantled a potentially expensive bunk set for no reason whatsoever. But anyway, I'm fairly convinced about this one. I mean, it's definitely not sticking out. It looks like a scratch or a groove in the coin. I don't think it's just a scratch. I think it is a genuine strike through. So there's only one way to actually find out for sure, and that is to dismantle the pack. So let's tear this open, shall we? Or shall we? I mean, it's quite an expensive set, but we'll never know otherwise. Let's do it. Yes. Oh my days, am I really doing this? Ooh, this is quite hard to open actually. There we go. Right. So all the coins come on in a sort of plastic tray thing like this. So it's double-sided. Let's get rid of the packaging. So which one do we want? We're only interested in the Kew Gardens 50p really, so let's very carefully, of course, cut it out. So this coin on its own, in good condition, is probably worth close to £200 now. With an error, perhaps a bit more. Either way, I should probably be a bit careful with it. So let's try and prise that open. And of course, avoid touching the coin with our fingers. It's definitely very shiny blunt condition there. So there's some slight hazing on the coin already anyway, and I think that's just from the fact that it was struck a while ago and some oxidation has occurred. Let's try and, yeah, that is definitely a strike through. Let's do the ultimate test though. Let's just double check with a nice handy hand blower whether that actually does blow off. So no budging, so that is definitely, in my view, a strike through error. Again, no idea if you can see that very clearly through this lens, but I will splice in some close-ups. So very pleased with that. And the rest of these, not sure what I should do with these. What do you reckon? Perhaps I should put that one in my collection. This one, however, I think I'll send it off to NGC, because with a bit of conservation, I think that hazing can be cleared up, and I think that'll grade fairly high. But more importantly, the fact that it's got a strike through on it means it will get the mint error designation, which is obviously all I'm interested in. Things which have strike through errors on it very rarely get top grades anyway. I've never seen a strike through error get a MS 70 grade, and I think that just reflects the fact that it does have a strike through in it. So even though it's a minting error where a strand or fibre has come between the blank 50p and the die that struck this side of the coin, so the fibre then ends up getting pushed into the blank, but it's not retained. So after the coin is struck, you end up with this groovy channel running through the background of the coin and through the lettering as well. So that's a genuine mint error on what could potentially be quite an expensive coin. So yeah, I have destroyed the rest of this spunk set, so that's unfortunate, but it was the only way to find out for sure, because as I say, sometimes these plastic casings can create some kind of optical illusions, particularly when you're trying to look at artifacts near the edge of a coin. So yeah.
Ooh, hello, it's me from the future, and I did indeed send that coin off for grading, and here is the result. So as you can see, it is the same coin. I did not opt for conservation though, so you can still see slightly hazy bits there and there. Possibly an oversight on my part, but normally NGC does give you an opportunity. So once you've sent it off, they will actually contact you and say, actually, we think this coin will get a better grade if it is conserved, and then you pay them a little bit of money. But I didn't do that. All I was really interested in is the error. And so yeah, did NGC agree with me, or did they just give this a really bad grade because it's got a scratch? Well, let's see the result. It was indeed a mint error. As I suspected, the obverse has been struck through, so that's pretty cool. It's got an MS 68 grade, which is obviously not the highest, but like I said, you cannot possibly hope to get an MS 70 grade with a coin that has a strike through error. And again, with the toning going on, I'm actually pleasantly pleased with an MS 68. And it's also got the DPL designation, which means deep proof-like, which I think from the contrast between the background fields and the design, you can't really disagree with that. So that is a very good result. Again, numerical grades aren't really important to me for these kind of things. I just wanted it to be kind of independently verified as being a mint error. So yeah, very, very happy with that, and I'll go back in time.
Anyway, thanks for watching, and hope you found this video interesting and informative and horrifying. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I'd love to see what you thought about it in the comment section. Yeah, so don't forget to check out my other error coin videos if this sort of thing floats your boat, because there's plenty more to see now. But for now, bye bye.